For more than 15 years, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, has reigned as the gold standard in blockbuster entertainment. From 2008's Iron Man to the cultural crescendo of Avengers, Endgame, Marvel Studios built an interconnected saga that transformed superhero cinema. But as the post-Endgame years have shown, even titans can stumble, and lately, Marvel has been tripping over its own weight. Now, as the studio prepares for Avengers, Secret Wars, many fans are looking to a potential soft reboot as the franchise's lifeline. But with dwindling enthusiasm, inconsistent storytelling, and genre burnout looming large, a simple reboot may not be enough. To truly recapture its former magic, the MCU doesn't just need a fresh start. It needs to step away entirely, at least for a while. A post-Endgame identity crisis. The MCU's decline didn't happen overnight. Following Endgame, beloved characters like Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow exited, leaving behind a narrative vacuum. Their replacements, while numerous, have largely failed to command the same emotional investment. Instead of developing new icons gradually, Marvel flooded screens with a slew of new characters, many of whom lacked compelling arcs or failed to resonate beyond their debut. Meanwhile, critical and commercial misfires have become alarmingly common. Films like Eternals, Thor, Love and Thunder, and The Marvels underperformed, while shows like Secret Invasion and Ms. Marvel failed to make cultural dents despite strong marketing pushes. Even once dependable characters like Thor and the Hulk have seen their gravitas diluted in favor of overused humor and inconsistent tone. Oversaturation and franchise fatigue. Part of the MCU's problem lies in its sheer volume. The franchise has ballooned into a relentless content machine, with multiple films and series dropping every year. This nonstop output has overwhelmed even dedicated fans, turning excitement into obligation. Once an event, a new Marvel release now feels routine, no longer the must-see moment it used to be. This glut of content also damages narrative cohesion. Instead of tightly plotted sagas, the Multiverse Saga has offered scattered threads and underwhelming payoffs. For casual viewers, keeping up has become a chore. For loyalists, the payoff often doesn't feel worth the effort. The multiverse, once a promising storytelling device, has become more of a crutch than a catalyst. Why a hard reboot isn't enough. Marvel's rumored reboot following Secret Wars is a logical idea. Integrating the X-Men and Fantastic Four from the ground up, recasting core heroes, and starting fresh could restore focus. However, rushing into a new timeline risks repeating the same mistakes, particularly if it's just another assembly line of content with little time to breathe or build anticipation. In truth, fans aren't asking for a new universe as much as they're asking for a better one. To achieve that, Marvel must first allow audiences to miss the franchise. By stepping back for several years post-Secret Wars, the studio could create space for nostalgia and anticipation to take root again. DC's rise and the importance of competition. Ironically, Marvel's downturn has coincided with DC's most promising era in years. Under James Gunn's leadership, DC Studios has committed to genre variety, leaner budgets, and long-term planning. Films like Superman and the upcoming Clayface horror movie suggest a willingness to take creative risks Marvel currently avoids. Marvel once benefited from weak competition. That's no longer true. If DC continues to rise, it will push Marvel to reevaluate and innovate. But for that to happen, Marvel must first recognize that its current course is unsustainable. Why a break could save the MCU? If Avengers, Secret Wars ends the current MCU era, it should also close the curtain on Marvel content for at least 5 years. That pause would allow the studio to regroup, chart a thoughtful path forward, and build a new cinematic foundation with the same meticulousness that powered its original success. It would also allow audiences to move on, and then perhaps look back with longing. That anticipation could reignite the cultural energy that made the Avengers a landmark and Endgame a global event. In that vacuum, the next chapter of the MCU could rise not as an obligation, but as a phenomenon reborn. Conclusion: let Marvel rest. The Marvel brand still has enormous potential. Its characters, legacy, and cultural relevance are far from finished. But for the MCU to thrive again, Marvel Studios must resist the urge to keep producing just for the sake of presence. The smartest move now isn't another movie or show, it's silence. In that quiet, a future MCU can be built with clarity, purpose, and the kind of creative spark that once made it unstoppable.